This is episode 3 of the Knicks Play podcast. I'm your host, Adam Dickens, and that is John Mills. And we are happy to have you this week. How you doing, Mills?
Doing pretty good, man. Can't complain.
Man, this week 4 of the NFL is probably one of the most. I can't guess what's going to happen. Based on what happened last week in week 3, it's only going to get better as we keep going, man.
Yeah, for sure, man. Teams starting to settle in as you get into week 4 and 5. You start to see who is who. Teams start to separate themselves. And then, of course, the injury bugs start to hit.
Yes, sir. I mean, I couldn't believe the Colts would win again. I couldn't believe Green Bay lost. I couldn't believe the Panthers beat the Falcons 30-0. Like it's just so many different things happened that
Yeah,
I
they
just couldn't
smacked
believe.
them. Yeah, they smacked them, man.
We'll go ahead and get into the first little segment of the show. We got a couple major injuries. A couple superstars are going to be out. This is only like the superstars of the superstars. To kick it off, Nick Bosa is out for this season with a torn ACL. How do you think that implicates for the 49ers? It seems like they're used to these big injuries at this point.
Yeah, but I haven't had the pleasure of watching the 49ers yet this year, but I know they're gonna have to generate a pass rush without Bosa. I don't really know. I know they got Robert Saleh back running their defense, and they usually have depth on that defensive line, but still, it's still, man, that's becoming probably the second most important position on the field now, or third most important position on the field now is pass rusher. You know what I'm saying? Because if you don't put pressure on these quarterbacks, they can pick you apart. So I think that's going to have an impact on them. To go along with their quarterback being out right now, but they got their cupcake schedule, so they get through it.
No, I think you're absolutely right. Right. I think Robert Saleh has been doing a great job with the defense. It doesn't surprise me, though, that the 49ers, one of the oldest teams in the league, is having one of the most some of the most injury issues throughout the league. That
Yeah.
tends to correlate between age and injuries. And so I'm not surprised. I do feel bad for Bosa. He is out for the season, and definitely concerned, for those 49ers. But I mean, right now they're doing a hell of a job, but we'll keep pushing. CD Lamb is out for 4 weeks with a high ankle sprain. He seems that he can't win, man. Whether it's the drops he had in that week 1 game and just out for 4 weeks now. Um, we won't talk about the Cowboys as a whole, but how do you think his injury specifically affects them?
Big impact, big impact because CD is. I mean, I hate to say it because he's a Dallas Cowboy, but being real about it, CD that dude. CD is he that dude, and I think now the good thing with the Cowboys is that you got Pickens who can step into the role as a number one receiver. And then Turpin has been doing pretty good, but I still think that's a big impact with Dallas. As far as because and you look at it going into the season, you say probably their two best players was Micah Parsons and CD Lamb, and that they don't have either. So it's going to be a big impact, and we're going to see that this week with Green Bay coming to town. So
I, I do think if we take Michael Irvin and we put him on enough coke, we could have a weekend at Bernie's situation going on. And I don't even think they'll miss CD Lamb if they just do a weekend at Bernie's with Michael Irvin.
Michael, he's still gonna run them bang eights.
It'd be snowing in Dallas, baby, snowing in Dallas.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Keep it pushing. Mike Evans is going to be out 2 to 4 weeks with a hamstring injury. and those things also tend to linger around. So it might be longer than 4 weeks, but for right now they're just saying 2 to 4 weeks. How do we see that impacting Tampa Bay like that?
Yeah, with Godwin, still ain't came off the IR yet. That's gonna have a impact on them because now they put a lot of pressure on the rookie from Ohio State. One of my old players, I think has stepped up a little bit. Sterling Shepard, but Sterling Shepard is not a game breaker. He can catch them third down balls. Maybe and move the chains, but he ain't no game breaker. But that'll be interesting. And they got a big game coming up this weekend also. Huge
Yes,
game. So
sir. Now,
yeah.
now with Mike Evans being out for the time being, do we think he still gets his 1,000 yards he gets every season?
Man, that's a good question. That's a good question. Um, I don't know, man. I don't know because he barely got 1,000 last year, and you're talking about
Right.
3 or 4 games, and then you're looking at um with the development of the rookie, and with Godwin coming back, you know, he might not be getting all them targets. I don't know. I think it's in definitely in jeopardy, depending on how long he's out.
Yeah, no, he's definitely gonna cut it close. Last year, like you said, he waited to the last game of the season. I think the last quarter of the last season to finally get his 1,000 yards. But we'll end up seeing. Uh, but let's do the first actual topic we got today, and that is the Ravens collapse again. They collapsed the first
Mm,
game, and they collapsed the third game versus the Lions. What's your opinion, and how do you think that turned out like that? As depressing as that
man,
was.
man, when you go back, I was looking at Get Up, man, and this is a common theme for the Ravens blowing leads and collapsing. And I don't know, man. They just they ain't intimidating no more to me. It used to be like, oh man, you got to play Baltimore Ravens. They gonna pound it on offense, and they physical on defense. And their defense, man, I know they got injuries. They got some key injuries, but that defense is just it. And with that defense being that bad, that puts even more pressure on Lamar and that offense. And he got sacked 7 times, and it's like, so I don't know, man. The Ravens might be in the hamper, man. They might be ready going to the washer, man. I don't know. They got a big game coming up this weekend, man, with them Chiefs. And if they lose, they go down 1-3.
1-3,
They go
one
down
three.
1-3. So,
I was watching a video about the Lions Ravens matchup. I thought you mentioned how many times he got sacked, and a video kind of broke it down of one of the principles that it seems like the Lions were coaching was that do not dive at Lamar's feet. A lot of teams tend to do that,
mhm,
and he'll work his magic and do his Lamar stuff where he is
mhm,
just free and he can get out of
yeah,
that type of stuff. But if you just chase him down standing up, and if you can't tackle him by his shoulders, do not tackle him at all. And it seemed to work.
mhm,
And I went back and watched all the sacks. That's exactly what they did. I think that's a hell of a
mhm,
strategy that a lot of teams just haven't been taking advantage of up until this point.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's coaching. That's coaching and scouting there. You know what I'm
It
saying?
something else I wanted to bring up is you're damn right. It is a trend that the Ravens tend to disappoint. We've been there for those playoff runs where they they'll blow leads and disappoint. And to me, it's so weird because a team that is so good at running the ball
Yeah.
that has a hard time blowing leads.
That,
That's what I
that
don't understand.
that's exactly that's mind-boggling. They're one of the best rushing teams. So usually a good rushing team, when they get the lead, it's over. But it's just like seems like this down the stretch now. Henry he fumbling, and just down the stretch, man. It's like they just can't close. They can't make the big plays. It's almost like for the first 2 or 3 quarters, they're one team, and then that fourth quarter, they just turn into something else. You know.
Who do you put this on? Do you put this on? Is it a hardball coaching situation? Do we put it on Derrick Henry with the fumble issues, 3 fumbles in 3 games? Do we put it on the Lamar managing the game, even though he's doing everything he possibly can? Is it just bad situational football? What is it?
Hey man, they said shit roll downhill. That's on the coach.
Come from the
That's
top.
on the coaching. That's on coaching. When you blowing leads like that, that's on coaching. That's on discipline. And I know the coach ain't out there blocking and tackling and stuff, but still, that falls on the shoulders of the coach and on Harbaugh. And I like Harbaugh, but Harbaugh, man, hey, he in that boat with Mike Tomlin now to me. Like they good coaches, they get you to playoffs, but it just seems like they can't get over the hump. They can't get over the hump now. Harbaugh has a ring, but you know how that go. NFL is a what have you done for me lately league. And that ring done got old, man. That ring done got nice and old now. It got a little dust on it. So, but I think it's I want to say 70. I want to say 70% coaching, and then I got to put 15 on the I got to put 15 on the 15 on the offense, 15 on the defense. Because defense, come on now, it's the Ravens. Matter of fact, I'm gonna put 20. I'm gonna put 70 on the coaching, 20 on the defense, and 10 on the offense. Because I mean, defense, you got to stop somebody, man. You got dude, they getting paid too. Man, you could talk about the offense and take air out the football and run the clock, run it out. But still, there's the defense. Man, you got to stop somebody. You got to get pressure. And they had no pass rush against Detroit. And like I said, it's gonna be an interesting game this week between them and Kansas City. Because
Yes,
somebody going there
sir.
and 1-3. Somebody going there and 1-3. Somebody going there and
Yes.
1-3.
Yeah. Hell, I mean, we can talk about it, right? I think both teams obviously they need this win because nobody wants to go down 1-3. I think the Chiefs need
Mm-hmm.
some type of reassurance, that they still got it, even though if you ask me, they don't. I think that the Ravens need reassurance that they just don't suck situationally and got to get their groove back. Right? It's two teams that need to get their groove back, but realistically, only one can.
Yeah. Yeah, they
Um,
need they need I think both teams not only need a win, they need a good showing. Because I mean, look at the Chiefs. They beat my Giants, but they didn't dominate the Giants. They didn't. Russell Wilson played just an absolute horrible game, and yet they didn't dominate the Giants. So it's like both teams they need good performances, not only wins. They need some good performances. Like they really need both of them. But I think I think the Chiefs. I think they stand. I think they stand a better chance coming out the 1-3 hole than the Ravens because with the Chiefs they will be getting some players back. They will be getting Worthy back. They will be getting what's the other dude? Rice. They will be getting them back. So they will be getting players back. So I think they're better built, and with just the coaching and whatnot, and Patrick Mahomes, they're better built to come out of that 1-3 hole than the Ravens. But it's definitely going to be interesting to see this weekend.
No, and shockingly, I actually agree with you on that. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think that to me it's another week for the Ravens, and it almost seems like a dark cloud that's over them because what if Derrick Henry fumbles again? It's only going to get worse and worse and worse from here.
High and tight, Derrick Henry, high and tight. Tiki Barber went through it. You got to hold it. You got to hold it high and tight, high and tight.
I mean, I think it's easy. It's easy to
because
say.
guys are punching. Guys are punching for the ball. You see, they are punching the ball now. So you just got to be conscious. It becomes, I think, a psychological thing for a running back, but you just got to be conscious, and because you got to be conscious that when you're running, guys, especially a big back like Derrick Henry, I rather try to punch it out and try to tackle him anyway. But guys are running up, and that's the thing now. They're trying to punch that ball out. So high and tight, got to hold it high and tight.
I think too, and I think you kind of spoke to it a little bit, is with Derrick Henry and the way he runs. He's so tall, and so it's so much room to me underneath that ball and above that ball because he runs straight up. He doesn't run low to the ground. And I think it's so much room for people to knock the ball out. That I think it's a big target on his back, and that's how it kind of shows out. We'll keep pushing on to the next topic. We have three. We have 6 3-0 teams. Okay, I'm gonna list them out for you. We got the Chargers, we got the Eagles, we got the 49ers, the Colts, the Bills, and the Buccaneers. Who do you think is the most? We can do two of the most legit 3-0 teams that we have right now. That's the real deal. That's going to stay undefeated for as long as possible.
Well, the best of the 3-0s, I'm gonna say the Eagles and the Bills. I'm gonna say the Eagles and the Bills. Basically, the Eagles, the Bills, the Chargers. I think are the best three. They're the best three. I think you can book them. They gonna be in the playoffs. Buccaneers are on the edge. We'll see this weekend, but Buccaneers are kind of on the edge. Tampa, and then 49ers and the Colts. I ain't sold. I ain't all the way sold. 49ers, I think with the schedule and everything is going to help them out, but I'm still not all the way sold on either. You know what I'm saying? And then we got to see if how they're going to generate a pass rush without Bosa. And the Colts, man, Danny Dimes, Jonathan Taylor, but still the Colts, I ain't really sold on them. I think they can, win the division and get to the playoffs, but I'm not sold on them winning no big games.
A couple points I want to make. I'm not sold on the Colts either at all. To me, a lot of people are talking about Danny Dimes, and I mean 3 touchdowns in 3 games just isn't mind blowing to me. Yes, have they won the games that they have put upon them? Yes, but I don't see the teams they won against tough competition. I think this week is going to be their first week where they really get somebody. But I think that's we'll talk about that because that's on the top 3 games list. But I just don't think they've had the competition yet. Their run game has did most of them for them. And until Danny Dimes till he gets put through, some tough shit, and he's really got to overcome. I'm not buying into him. I do think on my most legit list, I think the Chargers. I think you got to give it to the Chargers. They're playing tight games. They're winning tight games. And they seem like they got a little bit of swag and a little bit of some shit to this team. And I think until they lose, we just gotta keep giving them their props and being who it is. The Bills, we knew who the Bills were, and we knew who the Eagles were entering the season. I do want to save a little bit of the Eagles talk for later, but I'm not impressed with a lot of these teams. The Bucks now with Mike Evans injured is kind of made me double think about this team. Are they going to keep going through the same injury issues they've been having? I'm just not sold. I'm just not sold on a lot of these teams. But who I do have a big outlook for is the Chargers. And you got to give it the Harbaugh as a coach. You got to give it to Justin Herbert as a quarterback. And he's not working with a lot out there, if we're being honest. But he's maximizing what he's got with his weapons.
Yeah. Harbaugh, man. Jim Harbaugh can coach. He can coach. Jim Harbaugh has a way that he builds a team, whether it's college, whether it's pros, and it works, you know what I'm saying, as far as he's going to have he's going to have a good offensive line, a physical running team, play some tough defense, and if he can unlock his quarterback, which he seemed to do with Herbert, then they're going to be tough. But like you say, still with them, weapons-wise, I don't know, but right now they're rolling, and it's early in the season. But right now they're rolling. He got them off to a good start. Right now Chargers look very strong.
Yeah, I definitely agree. What do you think right now? Do you see is the best outlook for the 49ers? Like, what is the best case scenario for the 49ers if they at the end of the season? We can talk record wise. We can talk about just overall as a team.
I had to look at the schedule for the record wise. I think the 49ers. I think they get the playoffs. I think the playoffs. I still like the Rams in that division, but I think the playoffs, and then by them, they could be a little dangerous. They could be one of them teams that if they get in the playoffs, because they could be dangerous because of the coaching staff. You got CMC. You have Ayuk in the back. So they could be dangerous, but right now they're not impressive. They're not scary. But as far as the outlook, that's one of them teams that I think you get down near the end of the season, they could really, really pick up some momentum and really be dangerous.
I can see it.
Don't let Butcher hear me say. Don't tell Butcher I said
that. Hey man, this is an anti-49ers podcast. All right. Unless
Mike, I keep it real.
Unless Mac Jones is that quarterback, then
Mac Jones finishes the season.
Mac Jones versus everybody. That's what it is. Well, again, next topic we got is the big game, the game we're anticipating before the season even started. Mike Parsons is returning back to the Cowboys to see old Jerry Land, to see his old pals, his it almost feels like two parents, right, who have given their child up for adoption, and now the child has turned 18 and 21 now, and he's coming back to get revenge for giving him up for adoption. Okay, that's why I see it as. Um, yeah, man, it's a revenge game for Parsons. What? How do we see this turning out? And do you think there's any the feelings between Parsons and Jerry and the Cowboys teammates?
Well, he says it's going to be painful for him to sack Dak because Dak was like a friend and a mentor and stuff to him. So the thing about this game is this: Jordan Love got to be licking his chops because you done had two questionable quarterbacks just light them up. You know what I'm saying? I ain't talking about the first game with Hurts and the Eagles. I'm talking about Russell Wilson and Caleb Williams, two questionable quarterbacks that lit that defense up. So Jordan Love got to be licking his chops. And if Jordan Love light that defense up, then that means the Cowboys will be playing from behind. And they're going to have to pass a lot. And therefore, that gives Micah Parsons a chance to really wreck him. I got him getting 2 sacks. But it's definitely, it's definitely some tension there. He definitely want to show off because, especially when you wouldn't pay me. You know what I'm saying? It's like, y'all wouldn't pay me. I wanted to stay. I was happy. You didn't want to pay me. So now I got to come back and let you know what you've been missing. But you can't get too caught up in that revenge and you get burned. You won't play within the system. You won't play under control. You get playing out of control. So he just gotta go out there and just play his game and, just get after the quarterback and try to disrupt. But it's gonna be interesting. They said they ain't getting no video tribute. I guess, the NFL is different from NBA. NBA, they give everybody a video tribute. You play 2 games there, you come back and you get a video tribute. So they ain't getting no video tribute. So I don't know, man. We're gonna see.
You know what? I can't. Everybody's talking about the game and how excited they are for the game, and the how up and down the game is and how great it's gonna be. I just can't wait for the fuck Jerry chance to just implode. Because that's all we're gonna hear is fuck Jerry, fire Jerry, fire, and this is all we're gonna hear. That's literally all we're gonna hear about is how bad of a mistake that this was for Jerry Jones.
Yeah, Jerry gonna have to get him offensive line with a little extra pep talk. And I think the Indy got an injury on that offensive line. I think one of them dudes who got hurt. So Jerry had to get him an extra pep talk, like y'all can't let Micah get us. Let the other dude. If everybody get us, let one of them be them other dudes.
It's gonna be so.
If Micah get 2 or 3 sacks and be disruptive, then it's gonna. It ain't gonna be quite like with the Barkley thing, but it could be in the neighborhood, with Barkley in New York and how, we just let him walk away and then he come back and just running over top of us. So, like I said, if Micah is disruptive and get out there and just being disruptive, then of course, yeah, you might get them chance. Them fire Jerry chance. But you can't fire Jerry. Jerry ain't firing himself. It just is what it is with the Cowboys. But they gotta fix that defense. Cowboys gotta learn, they gotta generate a pass rush. And that's the biggest thing, man. Like you let your pass rush, you trade him, but you don't have a pass rush. You traded him for a guy to stop the run, but guess what? The teams ain't got to run on you. If they can throw for 300 and 400 yards on you, they ain't got to run the ball. You know what I'm
that
saying?
whole defense is terrible. When you trade away your best defensive player and became the worst defense in the NFL. The fact that Trayvon Diggs looks like somebody's backup, like he looks like just a backup on the Browns secondary. That's how bad he looks. He got cooked at least 6 times the other day.
Well,
That whole
well,
secondary just looks bad.
well, because all of it, see on defense, the front end and the back end has to work together. What you have with the Dallas Cowboys, they have ball hawking corners and Trayvon Diggs and Bland. Them dudes, they like the jump routes. They like the ball hawk, and you can do that with a pass rush because that ball is coming out. That ball is coming out early, and that ball is coming out. Saying it's not going to be as crisp and on target. But what happens when you ain't got no pass rush? Now you got to cover. You know what I'm saying? You can't just jump them routes and whatnot. You got to cover, and then the quarterback get a chance to step into the throw and throw a better ball. So now you have to depend on your actual technique and coverage skills. And I think that's kind of where they're getting exposed. But the Dallas Cowboys, I mean, they got a key injury. Overshawn. Overshawn is Parsons was the guy, but Overshawn I think was like the second best guy behind Parsons on their defense. And I think if they get Overshawn back, that's gonna help them out some. But it's just that secondary, man. Them dudes, they just got to get back down to basic covering technique, and instead of just trying to jump routes. You know what I'm saying?
Soft is baby shit, man. Soft is baby shit. That's what I say. Cowboys secondary. Um, but I mean, like, yeah, their whole defense is terrible. It really is a bad game to watch, and I'm glad to see so many Cowboys fans actually starting to speak up about it. And I think eventually they're gonna get. It's not really Jerry Jones that has to change. It's got to be his family that start saying something, and you start getting those whispers in the back office, and they start sitting down with Jerry, like, Pops, I don't want to tell you, but I don't think this is getting much better. I think maybe you should, go back to that ranch and kind of take a few days off, something like that. That's when you start. That's when change will come to the Cowboys.
Yeah, Steven. I think Steven kind of has Jerry's ear, and it's almost like, but I don't think the other two siblings are quite as strong as, say, with Steven. Like if the other siblings had the juice or whatever, like Steven, then maybe they could kind of, say, I ain't not necessarily push him out, but kind of, kind of slow him down. But you know, Jerry, man. Jerry got that right now. Jerry got that energy, and Jerry the man, and Jerry gonna do it Jerry's way. And they
And
just gotta, they just got it's a culture thing with Dallas is entitlement, and I think that's the problem with Jerry is is kind of guys with entitlement. Like he loves the players. He loves his players, and it's that entitlement I think they have around there. They don't have that accountability, so to speak.
it is pretty sad. It really is sad. I mean, I don't feel sad for the Cowboys, but like it's just sad that that's the type of ownership is going around over there. But either way, we'll keep it pushing. We had a little segment separated for our friend Marcus, but we're just gonna get into the topic. As you being the local Giants expert slash fan, we have a new era in New York Giants land, right? We
Jaxson
have
Dart, baby.
Jaxson Dart becoming the
In
starting
Dart we
quarterback
trust.
in Dart we trust. Um, I was kind of surprised they skipped over Jameis Winston, but I'll let you really get into it before I touch on it. Jaxson Dart is the new starting quarterback. How do we feel? Do we feel bad for Russell? Do we feel good for Jaxson Dart? How do we feel?
Well, first thing I don't feel bad for Russell. Russell got a beautiful wife, beautiful family. He done made a lot of money. I don't feel bad for Russell. Um, I really wanted Jameis to get a start in there. I think Jameis throughout the camp, I kind of followed him a little bit in camp. Jameis has actually been one of the leaders. Just from the outside looking in, to me, Jameis has been more of a leader than actually Russell Wilson. And he came in, and I think I felt like that at least I felt like Jameis at least deserved 2 starts because we know you traded up first round to get Dart. We already know Dart was going to play this year. We knew that. We knew Dart was going to play, but I felt like that Jameis, saying should have got 3 starts. But with that being said, hey, look, it from looking at it, looked like you could actually open the playbook up some with Dart. And I just want to see him just make the basic throws. I don't need a spectacular throw. Just make the basic throws. What pissed me off with Russell Wilson is that, and I had to come to realize he's just a one-trick pony. It's the deep ball. And good coordinators like Spags, when he went up against with the Chiefs, he gonna take that from you. So okay, I know you can throw the deep ball. Well, I'm gonna keep the safeties back, take the deep ball from you. And he wouldn't take the underneath stuff. And that was part Russell, and that was part offensive coordinator and head coach too. You know what I'm saying? Is that you have to make the adjustments. But as far as with Jaxson Dart, I didn't watch him in college, so I don't know a lot about him, no more than what I saw in the preseason. So it's just we'll see. I give him 3 or 4 games before I really get into evaluating him. But he got a hell of a getting thrown to the wolves, so to speak. We used to have an old saying in corrections when I started. They said, get it from the rough, where they throw you to the wolves. They said, get it from the rough. And he definitely get it from the rough. You got the Chargers coming up in there with Derwin James and defense. And I kind of like it, though. Everybody said, well, they should wait to start him against New Orleans. No, let him go and start now. And, he gets smacked around a little bit and then you got something for him to look at, some good tape, some good film for him to look at. And then you get him then he played against a little easier team, and then you can see progress. So, we'll see. I mean, I ain't all excited and all of that. But just we'll see.
Mills, you gotta understand, man. These millennials are not like us. Okay, I know me and you in two different generations too, but these millennials, they gotta be patted on the back. They can't just be thrown to the wolves. They is not the same generation like type stuff that we deal with. And I'm honestly kind of scared for them,
Jaden Daniels
especially going
got thrown
against.
to the Wolves. CJ
And
Stroud
how
got
did it
thrown to
turn
the
out?
Wolves. I mean,
And how did it turn out?
they
How did
turned
it
out
turn
pretty
out?
good.
No,
Well,
no, no,
Stroud
no.
then took away his weapons being hurt, and then took away his offensive line. Then he looked like a different dude. But that's another whole subject. But I
The
mean,
shit, those
you
are
just
two
gotta see
very
what you
bad
gotta see, man.
examples.
Well,
Those are
I
two very.
mean, that's where coaching. That's where your coaching comes in there, as far as with the routes, with the scheme and whatnot. He's coming in there. You're going up against a good defense, a good physical defense like that, then you got to help him out. Give him some layups. Give him some quick throws and layups and stuff like that, man. Give him a couple of RPOs and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? It comes down to coaching. But hey, he played under Lane Kiffin. He played under Lane. He ought to be ready. He played in the SEC. He played under Lane. So hey, get it
and
from the
speak
rough. Get
and
it from the
speaking of that,
rough.
get it from
That's
the rough.
right. Get it from the rough.
Um, but that's what concerns me a little bit. At Ole Miss, he was a little, just a little reckless, especially when he ran the ball. He wasn't really good at sliding like that. I just hope it's just different in the NFL when he takes one of those big hits. Hell, if he gets hit by Derwin James, I mean the poor kid, he might break it in half. I'm just a little concerned with that as far as his decision making. But like you said, he does have to learn at some point.
Well,
Um,
and that's where you go up against a tough defense. Iron sharpens iron. That's where you go up against a tough defense. And if he don't get down, he get his bell rung. He's gonna understand. I think he learned that in preseason though. He had one in preseason. He fumbled. He ran and then he didn't really slide, and he fumbled the ball. And it was like, all right, come on, man. So I mean, hey, you gonna learn. I mean, that's that. You got this with him. You just got to start building. You got to build film and build tape. You know what I'm saying? You build tape. In preseason, you was going against vanilla defenses. So now this is the real. You getting the real schemes now, and you just got to build the tape. And if he stink it up, then he stink it up. What I'm looking for is the ball. I'm looking for the ball coming out, not sitting back there holding the ball. You don't have a great offensive line, but we got the left. We got Andrew Thomas back. He's a very good left tackle, but you can't sit there and put pressure on him. They had to block for 4 or 5 seconds. That ball need to come out, and it's how he manipulate the defense. Because see, defense gonna give you something. It's up to you to find out what they're giving up and take it. They're gonna give you something. If they bring the safeties up and say we're gonna take away the short pass, you gonna have to beat us deep, then you beat them deep. If they saying like you did last week, oh no, y'all ain't beating us deep, then you hit the tight end and stuff like that. But hey man, we'll see.
Chargers gonna take that ass. Chargers gonna take that ass.
Oh no, he gonna be no beat down or blow up. Because we're gonna hit Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert gonna get hit. Yeah, they better run their ball.
He might get hit.
He gonna get hit.
Why? He might get hit while
gonna
y'all
get hit.
down by 21.
He gonna get hit. Nah, hey, look, we got some players there, man. We got some guys there. It just he gonna get hit. Yeah, the boys gonna hit him. Burns gonna light him up. Carter, about time for Carter, get him a couple of sacks in there.
I mean, we can all wish for great things to happen. Let's move on and talk about the next NFC East team, and that is the Eagles. There seems to be some tension that has been created in that big win over the Rams between Hurts and the offensive coordinator going at it on the sideline. The offensive coordinator tends to what seems like he's been very conservative on his play calls. After him and Hurts got into it, they kind of broke out into more of a explosive, open the playbook up type of offense. Well, what's your opinion on where the Eagles' offense is, and what do you think was best for him?
Well, Drew Brees was on First Take yesterday. Drew Brees said he was boring.
It is. It
He
is.
said, and I look, I got to agree. I mean, he winning, but he's boring. Um,
Hold on. To expand on your point, to with the Drew Brees thing, they came out and said the stat was they've did the tush push play more times than they've had a pass over 15 yards.
yeah, yeah,
So
they haven't.
that's just to explain the Breeze comment.
Well, I think with them, you talking about explain. We talking about like, explain are they boring? Why they boring?
Oh yeah, what's up with the tension? What would you put on the interaction between Hertz and the coordinator? Just overall opinion of the offense.
Uh well, the offense, man. I think I don't know because see, they got a they got a new coordinator. Well, he got promoted. I think he got promoted from there. But Kellen Moore had the offense last year, and so it may be just growing pains with Hertz and the coordinator. I think he wants to. I mean, he want to keep his guys happy. You got Devontae Smith, you got AJ Brown. Them dudes want ball. They want targets. And when you got receivers like that, I mean, you got to get them the ball. But the OC may looking at, well, I got the best running back in football. And I guess they kind of want to play off of Barkley, but Barkley is not. They're not having that same impact this year in running games like they did last year, where Barkley was just ripping off runs, big runs, and he gonna have to open it up in order for the Eagles to get back to the Super Bowl. He gonna have to open the offense up. He gonna have to prove that they can sling it and they can throw it downfield. So he gonna have to open it up. But I think I'm putting I'm putting it on the coordinator. I'm putting it on the offensive coordinator and Nick Sirianni as far as saying to open that thing up. And you gotta let Hurts turn that thing loose a little bit. Now, I don't think the offensive coordinator trusts him to throw it like that a lot. If he not opening it up, then that might be some trust issue in there. And that might have been the thing from the back and forth. Hurts looking like, man, I done been to 2 Super Bowls. I don't want a Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? Y'all done gave me the money, turn me loose. And for success that Hurts has had there, it should be his offense, which means the offense should be tailored around him. He should have a lot of input in the offense now, because that's how you got to do it now. You got to tailor the offense around your quarterback now. Instead of the old days of the quarterback had to, the quarterback had to change to fit the offense. Now you got to tailor that offense around the quarterback. And I think that's what Kellen Moore did, what I'm saying? And that's what this offensive coordinator, he got to let him throw it a little bit though, because you're gonna have to be able to throw it. Because if you sit there and you just trying to run, and they gonna stack the box. Yeah.
Yeah, look, I agree with you, and for most part, everything you said, I do believe, and this is why I go by. Life is all about balance, right? We've heard that before. I like a good balance. Sometimes you gotta tweak it to find a balance that works for you.
I'm a Libra, man, so I love balance.
Tilting the
Yeah.
scales, tilting the scales.
Yeah, you gotta keep them
Uh,
scales balanced.
it is you gotta have balance. And I think that the perfect balance for me, when I've seen Jalen Hurts at his best, was that Super Bowl they lost against the Chiefs in the first half. It was a good balance between pass and run with Jalen Hurts, and the the backs were complements, but they enhanced the offense. And I think Saquon Barkley can be the ultimate enhancer of the offense, but the focus cannot be on him. It's easy to stop a running game once I know the focus is on you, right? And I think that Jalen Hurts should be the engine of the offense, and Barkley should be almost like the energizer. He should be to get that he about that action, right? Um, and to go to him in those big moments. But Hurts has to be seen as a threat in order for Barkley to go off like he really needs to. And with this offensive coordinator, they just haven't given the opportunity. He's shown the opportunity before that he can do it. He did it in the second half versus the Rams. He's shown that he can be a threat down the field. Um, and no point should we debate should the should they trade AJ Brown. That should never be a conversation. If that's the conversation, you're overall losing the battle. Everybody should be involved on the offense. Okay, it's not going to be ideal week to week, but for a 3 week span, and we're still having this conversation, that's where the issue lies.
They got the talent. When you break it down, they got the talent offensively where they can just say, you know what, we're gonna throw it, we're gonna run it, we can do whatever the hell we want to do. They got the talent, and I don't think they got the maestro. Your offensive coordinator, your head coach, they got to be like the maestro, and that's where the head coach coming in. If Nick Sirianni, he's a head coach, don't call plays, but that's where he got to step in and say, "Hey man, look, you gave me too many runs. You gave me too many runs. We need to change the tempo up. We need to, you know what I'm saying? We need to change it up." But the talent level they got, they should be able to go out and say, you know what? Okay, looking at this defense and whatnot. Oh yeah, we're gonna run this thing today. But you gotta have balance. That all the great offenses that's won Super Bowls and whatnot, they have balance. They have balance. Even the greatest show on turf with the Rams. The Rams, they can sling it, but guess what? They had Marshall Faulk. They can run that ball too. Marshall Faulk was getting a lot of all-purpose yards. So you got to have that balance. And as a Giant fan, I hope they don't find it. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, go ahead.
Nah, I hope they don't find it, but I mean, you get one of them good offensive coordinators, that talent, and man, shit, they'll beat you to death.
Yes, sir.
Beat you to death because the defense try to take some away, but when you got a great passing game, talented people in the passing game, it's hard to take that away. You know what I'm saying? Then when you focus on trying to take that away, getting safety help, then we're going to just run it. And then you got to factor Jalen Hurts into the running game. See, he the one that killed you in that running game.
But that's the hardest part about having a winning franchise. And if you expect winning Super Bowls, your coordinators are going to get snatched up that year. Yeah. And you know what's coming. You knew Kellen Moore he'd been wanting to be a head coach for the longest time. And you win these Super Bowls and these AFC, NFC championship games, and these teams are begging for opportunity just to interview them and snatch them up.
Yeah, yes, but you got to pick the right replacements. Like this with Detroit going through now. You got to pick the right replacements. You got to pick if Kellen Moore had the offense and he had that thing running good, then you need to pick someone who shares that same philosophy. You know what I'm saying? Or if you're picking someone who got a different philosophy, like you come in here with a different philosophy, but if that shit ain't working, we going to what's working. You know what I'm saying? We going to what's working. Like with Detroit, game one, I don't know what they do what offense that dude was running. But then the next two games, he's running that Ben Johnson style offense. You know what I'm saying? Because the offense was built like that. And so with Philly, and then offensive coordinator, it's like any other position, you got to grow into the position. If you're a first time, I think this guy's a first time offensive coordinator and play calling stuff. You got to grow into the position, so you're gonna have some growing pains in the position, and so.
Yep.
I hope they don't
No,
get it
you're
on
right.
track though. Yeah, I hope they don't get it on track though.
You're right. Yeah, we're gonna run through these games of the weeks, give our prediction, a little comment on them. You know what I mean? We'll get into it. I'll let you get your hydration in.
Yeah, man.
I don't big meals
Eagles got me sweating.
dehydrated
Talking
over.
about the Eagles got me sweating, man. They be hanging beatings on us.
They make you parched. They make you
Yeah,
parched.
they got me sweating.
We got the Ravens versus the Chiefs in a big AFC matchup. We talked about it briefly earlier. Which team will go 1-3 and who will not?
Oh, let's see. Ravens at Chiefs. I'm gonna give the Chiefs the edge. They at home at Arrowhead. I'm gonna give them a slight edge on that one. Yeah, I'm gonna give them a slight edge. I think the Chiefs will pull that out, and the Ravens going down to 1-3.
That said, I definitely disagree with you. I think the Ravens pulled this out. I think we finally say that the Chiefs are washed after this game. I think they are. This is the knockout game for the Chiefs. The season will be relatively over, and we'll all just be like, this Chiefs era is finally done with. I think that's what it. This is the knockout game. The Ravens, finally work on that situational game plan, and then hopefully Derrick Henry doesn't fumble the fucking ball and blow the game this time. So that's what I'm running with. We got the Eagles versus the Bucks. I actually think it's probably the game I'm gonna keep an eye on the most, to be honest with you. Go ahead, Mills. What you got?
Baker, my guy, man. Baker Mayfield is my guy. But Mike Evans is hurt. If Mike Evans won't hurt, I will be pounding my chest saying Buccaneers. But when Mike Evans hurt, I don't know, man. I got Philly. I got Philly winning. I got
Yeah,
Philly
Philly winning.
winning. Yeah, I got Philly winning. Going to Tampa.
I'm gonna stick with these Eagles. I actually think Abuka for the Bucks will give up a tough battle in this. He's had great games this whole season so far and really breaking out as a rookie. I think this game he will be absolutely nothing short of amazing. They'll have to force some throws to him with Mike Evans being out. I'm not sure if Godwin will be back at this point, but he should be.
I think they were
Um,
saying week 6, 5 or 6. I
uh,
think originally they were saying. I don't know.
well, in that case, it's not gonna be much for the Bucks. I think you gotta go with the Eagles, man. I find it hard, especially if they have had the wake up call. Sometimes and we just got done talking about the Eagles. I know you're sweating a little bit, but I got to bring it back up.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you just got when things not going right, you just got to cuss a motherfucker out. You really do, and then after that, things tend to get a little bit better, right? When you have those
Mm-hmm.
cussing out conversations, throw a couple motherfuckers out, and people get on the same page. I think that's when things tend to get better, and so I think if anything, we will see a big step up for the Eagles this game, and I'm hoping I'm not wrong in that fact. So we yep. All right, we got the Colts versus the Rams, undefeated Colts. 2-1 Rams. This is a game of the giants. Okay, the Greek gods at this point. Um, do the Colts remain undefeated?
Nah, Rams beat them. Rams coming off what it should be. Philly. Yeah, Rams got them. Rams gonna get them. Jerry Verse, they gonna get a little. They gonna heat Danny Dimes up a little bit. Yeah, I got the Rams. I got the Rams winning this one. Yeah.
I 100% agree with you. I also think that Rams defense is going to get active. Not going to say that they're going to fuck Danny Dimes up, but I think they're going to give them a hard enough time. I think Jared Verse is going to stop Jonathan Taylor in the up front, and I think I just think that Rams defense is too damn good, and that's kind of how I see it. You see it the same way?
Yeah. I think Rams, like I said, they're gonna get at it. They gonna get at him. The Rams defense, they can get at you. They're gonna get at him. They're gonna get them. Now I don't think they're gonna steamroll the Colts or nothing like that, but I think they're gonna get him. You got Devontae and Puka, Stafford, and them. I think they're I think they gonna beat them. They're gonna take it.
Yes, sir. That's the end of it for this week's show. It was a big pleasure doing the show with you, Mills. Would you like to say anything to the audience before we hang this up?
Nah, man, just I represent my Cubs. My sister's on baseball team, Chicago Cubs. Go Cubs! Other than that, man, just another great show.
I,
Good,
I thought you was
another
just
good weekend of football. Oh, breaking news! What's the Cal Raleigh, the big dumper, hit his 60th home run. We got a 60
Lord.
home run guy without steroids.
is that a shot at a fellow Yankees or no? Or not?
No, they ain't a shot. It just, since the steroid era, they hadn't. It's like, guys ain't been hitting them home runs like that. But we got guys still can hit 60. 50
Yeah.
home run club, but you got a guy hit 60. So
Hell yeah. Well, that is episode 4 of the Next Play podcast. Look forward to keep doing episodes and entertaining you guys. Hopefully we'll be a full staff next next episode. We miss our guy Butcher. We'll give it up a little for episode 4 of the Next Play podcast.
oh,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. With that being said, this is Next Play podcast. Have a great week. We'll see y'all next week.